Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca and welcome back to TJLC Explained Behind the Scenes. Thank you for your feedback on the last video. See, you can tell I'm more used to saying the intro thing than the other. Thank you for your feedback on the last video and the suggestions. I will definitely be doing both a book tour and a question and answer. Probably start leaving ideas for questions in the comments of this one and in the book tour, which will be next. I'm actually going to be filming the next video today. That's how scheduling works. I did actually have some free time today, so hey, what's up with that? I wanted to take the opportunity to talk a little bit about how videos can sometimes change over the course of development. And this one is a little bit more public, so I just thought I'd address it here because you get some more extra behind the scenes what's going on stuff. You'll know I've already mentioned that this is reference as like a video on straight relationships on the show, and that was what it was released as in several of the tentative schedules I put out. So I came up with that idea towards the beginning when the video format was very different. The longest had been 30 minutes. Oh, happy days. Anyway, so it was back before I kind of figured out, how long some of the topics have to be, and a lot of the topics were a lot shorter, very focused, like think along the lines of the elephant in the room or the numbers video. There were a lot more like that planned towards the end, but eventually I realized that I had too much to talk about to do that, so I combined a lot of those into what will be the last video. That's why so many of the topics towards the end changed. Part of it was that I realized a lot of them weren't long enough for me to do dedicated videos to. So this one was going to be on the one you're going to get, not next because his last file still hasn't come out, but the one after that, which is now on love affairs, I believe is how I'm titling it. It was originally going to be on straight relationships on the show, and kind of like jokingly looking at some of the statistics on the show, how straight relationships have about a 2% chance of success, whereas gay relationships have over, I believe it's around 66%, no, 75%. 75. It depends on if we're counting Pietro or not, but that was wrong, so that came out anyway. So I changed it from that because it wasn't really working out well, and I do try not to actively upset people in videos. It doesn't always work, but I do try, and I figured that topic was just gonna cause some drama, because people would be like, "Oh, you hate straight people," and I'd just be like, "No, it's a show. It's written in such a way that it makes you look towards another thing, and 3 of the 4 happy relationships are gay relationships, so it's anyway." that wasn't gonna turn out super well, I decided. So what it's going to be is more of a hybrid between the mirroring video and videos and the video on romantic tropes. So I'm still focusing on all the relationships on the show, but instead I'm talking about how it's kind of setting your expectations, because there's so much failed romance, you want to see a good romance triumph over it, right? And if it's a happy story, it will. And how the writers, kind of dismiss all the other major relationships options, which I'm describing as any relationship with either Sherlock or John. So that's what it's going to be. But it developed because I realized, one, it wasn't long enough to talk about in depth unless I was just going to go be like full bashing. And I didn't really want to do that particularly because and I just didn't want to get in trouble, basically, and be putting out things that are, I don't know, I don't want to be putting out anything that people will be like, "Oh, look, see, TJLCers are all hate straight people." I don't want to be, I want to be a good person representing TJLC, not a bad example, even if all of the statistics were true. Maybe just slanting it. So I was just really finding that angle to approach it where I'm covering the same materials, and I do make one throwaway line that you will notice. 2, statistically speaking, straight people don't have the best track record on the show. There's one happy straight couple on the whole show. It's Mr. and Mrs. Holmes, in case you're like, who? Because it's hard to find them, but they're there. But that's how that developed. And it took me like a couple days working, which is part of the reason why I'm so late filming this, because I was like, I really can't make it work, and I started it like 3 or 4 different times, like trying different angles, and then the script I got finished yesterday, I had to again revise and keep adding that, making sure it was cohesive, because it felt like it was about 3 different scripts. So hopefully when it comes out, it's all cohesive and makes sense and is interesting and makes a good point. Because, like, yeah, I feel like it's more like creating an audience expectation. It's not saying this is necessarily guaranteed to happen just because of this, although a few of the points do guarantee it, but it's more saying, like, you know, because there are so many romances in the background of the show, and because so many of them end badly, you want to see them end well. And because none of the other relationships are going to end well, there is one option left. Sherlock and John. Okay. Anyway, this has been Behind the Scenes. Next time you can expect a book tour, probably next weekend. Probably. I feel like I'm coming down with a cold. Oh, dear, now, as soon as I say that, then you can hear my voice. Wow. You're gonna think I'm fake, and I'm not. But that's why I'm filming today. Part of the reason is that I'm in a rush to do that before I can't speak anymore. So the Mary video is going to be late. But I was sad about that because I wanted to get it out before the Abominable Bride month, but I guess she is the Abominable Bride, so she can be in the Abominable Bride month. So I'm very much looking forward to that. The Abominable Bride is my favorite episode, so I'm looking forward to spending a couple of parts talking about it. I'm splitting it up in advance because I know it's gonna be long, and yeah, like Mirrors was going to be, I'm splitting it up into 2 parts. So I won't be seeing you later. I won't be seeing you, but you're gonna see me. This is the thing that every video maker, it's a joke. Ha! I'm unscripted and doing this in one take, so I get to make bad jokes. Anyway, book tour next time. Leave suggestions for questions. So leave questions that you have for me down below. If they're like super personal or something, I might not answer them, but you know, if it's about like book recommendations or show recommendations or things I enjoyed or like school experience, just don't get like super, you know, like where do you live? Relationship, like just none of that. But apart from that, fair game. I feel weird to use discretion. You know what is a good idea to ask and what's not. So this has been rambly. Bye. Bye.